We've come inside because it is absolutely freezing outside. I nearly said a rude word for that. So so we can come in, and basically the next stage is very similar to the one we just previously covered off, which is called data visualization. So we've taken data, we've got it all in a place, we've done some analysis, and now we want to present it to users so they understand it. And clearly data can get quite complex, and so coming up with clever ways to visualize the data is a really good thing, because it gives better user engagement and you can get analytics off the back of it. And there's a whole raft of different ways of visualizing data, ranging from basic graphs and pie charts through to really complex 3D models that you can zoom into and zoom out of. And again, so many products on the market that can do this. It very much depends on what you're trying to do. But if you were to Google data visualization products, you will come back, you'll probably get hit with some of the more common ones. And again, it's all about what sort of visualization you're trying to get out. The really common ones, I mentioned Tableau previously. That's probably the most common one. Again, owned by Salesforce. It's very good, probably industry leading to an extent. Certainly has some very advanced features that will do all sorts of crazy stuff. And it also has libraries of other people's graphs that they've developed, such that you can reuse different graphics and different analysis or different ideas that other people have come up with for visualizing data. Similarly, Power BI I mentioned before, QlikView I mentioned before, all these sort of things give you sort of graphing based functionality around data, and you can do all sorts of clever stuff. It also takes it a little bit beyond that, and you start looking at sort of specialist visualizations. So a good example of this would be mapping. So on Power BI you can have a list of postcodes and you can apply that on a map, and that will show you where there's I can't think of the word, concentration of locations shown on a map. So if they put a little dot for each postcode, it will show exactly where things are. Now, whereas that sounds really basic, it actually is a really useful tool, because if you want to do analysis of 5 million companies in the UK and you plot their postcode on a map of the UK, you can see where the conurbations are and where most people have registered their companies. So using things like map visualizations and those sort of things is really important. And there's a couple of specialist providers in that space. There's a company called Esri. They do a lot of very complex and high-end mapping things. They also can do some quite clever different visualizations over and above just a basic map. Worth having a look at that if you're trying to use location data or visualize location data. And then there's sort of products that specialize in real-time visualization. So this is really more about, I've got a lot of data coming in, I need to be able to keep a graph or something up to date very, very real time, so really regularly. And so some of the big products in that space are Splunk, which has got a whole range of different applications behind it, but it's very good at sort of amalgamating data and presenting in a way that makes it easy to process. Grafana, you might have heard of. That, again, big product in this space, is open source, but is used for really monitoring and just staying on top of different changes in different data, etc. But it's almost not worth going through all the products, because there'll be new ones tomorrow, and they fundamentally, you need to make sure you try them before you buy them, so they're going to do what you expected to do with regards to giving you the output and the visualization you need. From a procurement perspective, as I said before, this is really more about engaging with your supplier, making sure you understand what your product can do, making sure that you understand what the terms are, drive the right license and the right commercial structure, and make sure it meets your IT stakeholders' requirement. Pretty standard software stuff. You're not going to go too far wrong on this one.